Welcome to a new fantasy adventure on Dreamscape. In this atmospheric story, Commander Sura must make a momentous decision, war or peace. Her wisdom could save many lives. But sinister forces have their own plan. The biggest gesture you can give me is a like. If you like my stories, feel free to leave a subscription and activate the bell so you don't miss any more stories. Well then, let's dive into the story. Sura's decision for peace. Silence fell over the round table of 12 as Grand Master Farron took the floor.
My brothers and sisters, we are faced with a difficult decision. The conflict with the kingdom of Magradon continues to escalate. King Morlux remains stubborn. He will not open the pass for our merchants.
Murmurs rose among the council members of the War Guild.
What do you propose, Grand Master?
Asked Commander Sura. Farron sighed.
I fear there is no way around war now. For too long we have tolerated Morlux's provocations. But his army is formidable.
The mage Tarun interjected.
Do we really want to go down that risky road?
Thoughtful looks were exchanged. Everyone on the council knew that war would take many casualties.
But we can't let ourselves be blackmailed any longer either.
The young warrior baron shouted, pounding his fist on the table. Murmurs of agreement spread.
The boy is right.
Growled the veteran Goran.
The bully must be stopped.
Farron raised his hand placatingly.
Let us weigh with cool heads. Certainty of victory could lead us to ruin.
He spread out a map of the Empire.
Even with combined forces, it remains a risky campaign.
Risky, perhaps, but not hopeless.
Interjected Commander Sura.
Cunning and tactics can defeat even superior forces. I have confidence in the strength of our troops.
Approving murmurs rose again around the table. Farron sighed and looked around the table.
Still, we can find a diplomatic way out. But I see the council is leaning toward war. May it not be our undoing. I will mobilize the armed forces.
With these words he closed the meeting. A hard decision had been made. Now there was no turning back. In the following days there was feverish activity in the War Guild. Blacksmiths and tailors sewed day and night to equip the troops. Soon the mighty hosts marched towards Magradon. In the golden armor of the Grand Mistress at the head rode Commander Sura, unwavering like a goddess of war. The outcome of this war was written in the stars. After many arduous days of marching, the army reached the border of Magradon. To the warriors' surprise, there was no sign of troop movements. Had they seen them coming? Was it a trap? The commander had the camp set up and advisors called. It was decided to send scouts ahead to reconnoiter the situation. What they reported astonished Sura. The country seemed completely unprepared for war. Should she attack the seemingly defenseless villages or wait and see? Sura's advisors were divided. A night raid could bring victory. But in doing so, she would sacrifice her honor. The commander pondered for a long time. Then she summoned a messenger and dictated a message to King Morlux.
This conflict is nonsensical. Let us decide on the battlefield without innocent people suffering.
To their relief, the king quickly replied. He agreed to a duel of armies. Now it was to be seen whether war was really inevitable or whether peace had a chance after all. At sunrise, Sura rode with a small band to the agreed place. On the horizon, she saw the banners of Magradon approaching. In a moment, their fate would be decided. King Morlux also came with only a few companions. His gaunt face was serious. For a long time, the rulers measured each other in silence. Then Morlux dismounted and suddenly knelt down.
Forgive my hard-heartedness,
he said humbly.
For too long there has been strife between us. Let us make a new alliance.
Sura was surprised by this turn of events. Then she smiled and extended her hand to him. Peace was made without bloodshed. The armies rejoiced when the rulers announced it. And in the following years, through their alliance, the land flourished. Thus wisdom had triumphed, not strength and the will to win. But not everyone at court viewed the peace with favor. Corin, the warmongering veteran, secretly plotted to seize power and conquer Magredon after all. He allied himself with the ambitious young noble baron, who was bitterly disappointed when the war was averted before he could perform heroic deeds. Together they incited the population against Magredon.
They laugh at us while we are weak.
They shouted.
Only the strength of arms ensures peace.
Their slogans caught on with many. By the time Farron learned of it, it was too late. An angry crowd marched to the palace, demanding that the war continue. Corin and Baron had prepared their intrigue well. Farron tried to appease the crowds, but they no longer listened to him. With his sword drawn, Corin entered the throne room and struck down the Grand Master.
Magredon will burn!
He shouted in victory. Sura realized too late what was happening here. That same day, Corin's troops marched on Magredon. But King Warlux had been warned and welcomed them with his army. A bloody battle broke out. In the evening, the usurper Corin stood victorious on the battlefield, but the price was high. Thousands had fallen for treachery and greed for power. Sura's heart wept for all the senseless victims. Now war reigned again.